Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to a Crusader Kings 2 Monarch's Journey video. Sometime after CK3 was announced, Paradox added to CK2 these Monarch journeys. Now these are really interesting. They highlight a variety of interesting characters that you might want to play. They've got cool situations that lead to interesting gameplay. In addition to that, for each one of these characters, they do throw some of these challenges in there that you can complete. And this is a great thing in general for a game as open-ended as Crusader Kings 2, because it gives you something to aim for if you want to play that way. But in addition to that, completing these challenges earns you points, and these points will go towards unlocking cosmetics for Crusader Kings 3. So there's a sweet little extra bonus if you go ahead and complete these various challenges. Now we're gonna go right back over here to Sultana Arwa. So this is a video sponsored by Paradox. They asked me to highlight one of these Monarch's journeys, and I chose Sultana Arwa because I think she's really interesting. Now I know about her because Essentia, my wife, has been playing CK2, and she started playing as Sultana Arwa on her own, and it turns out to be a really interesting situation. And this character, this person, historically was a very cool person. If I remember, I'll try to make sure to include a link to her Wikipedia page down below. Really fascinating stuff. So we're going to be playing as Sultana Arwa over here. Now, I actually have very little experience playing as a Muslim. I've played pagans and I've played Christians, but I've actually never played as a Muslim character before. And Arwa here is a Sunni Muslim, and a Shia Muslim, and a bunch of her stuff revolves around certain religious activities. So there are 3 challenges for her. I'm going to talk about the bottom 2 first over here. Now, these 2 challenges have to be accomplished within her lifetime. Now, good news, you can replay this journey over and over, and you don't lose your previous score, right? I mean, you'll start over from scratch if you restart the game, but it's not going to reset your achievements and reset your points. So if you complete one of these but not another one, on a restart you could just focus on the other one if you wanted to. Now, it's not really shown on the screen, but there are actually multiple levels of these. So for example, God's Will Be Done, it says Temples in Realm. And there's a bronze, silver, and gold. I actually have the bronze because I loaded this up and I fiddled around for, I don't know, a year or 2 of gameplay just to get a sense of the environment we're going to be in. And in that time, I very easily completed the first goal, which was to have 5 temples in the realm. That's the bronze. Now for the silver, I'd need 8, and for the gold, you would need 12, and you will get more points as you keep going. That's pretty straightforward. Now, you don't actually have to build these temples yourself. You can, but you can also gain these temples through conquest, which may in fact be the easiest way to do it. Certainly the cheapest way, that's for sure. Down here, we've got the Dawn of a New Deus. I actually don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but Dawn of a New Day would be an expression, so maybe, I don't know, something like that. And it says you have to convert Hindus to Shia. Now, apparently, based on what the interwebs have said, you don't actually have to convert Hindus to Shia. Converting anyone to Shia apparently will progress this. So you start off with plenty of Sunnis in your realm, and as you expand, you'll pick up some more Sunni vassals, and more Sunnis in your court, and apparently converting them will progress you towards this. But of course, if you do want to strictly convert Hindus, you can maybe invite them to your court, or maybe you can expand and take some land into India as well, and then convert those afterwards. The bronze, silver, and gold for this is 2, 4, and 6 conversions. Conversion's pretty easy. You right-click on someone's face and you say demand conversion. They have to be within your court. Oh, yes, apparently it's only direct conversions. It doesn't count if you're just putting your religious counselor in a province and he happens to convert from them. It's you right-clicking on someone and demanding conversion is what progresses this forward. Now, I talked about these 2 first because these 2 actually, assuming I'm reading everything correctly about the information, these 2 have to be completed within Arwa's lifetime herself. This character herself, it's only this. But the last one at the top, or the first one at the top, Long Live the Queen, years ruled 100. This is a little bit misleading because it's not actually requiring that she rule for 100 years. First of all, I think she starts at something like, I don't know, something like 23 years old. So she'd have to be like 123 years old to finish this. Obviously, that's not realistic. What this actually is for you to directly control all of the de jure holdings in Yemen, the Kingdom of Yemen, as part of your dynasty, directly controlling every single county for 100 years. Now, this can be beyond the scope of the length of this particular video, although we'll talk about some of the strategies for that in here. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just hit restart. This is played in, all the challenges are played in Bronze Man mode, which is sort of like Iron Man mode, i.e. you can't just make as many saves as you want and then reload from previous one, you know, if something goes badly. It basically has a single save that automatically gets auto-saved, and so you can't sort of rewind time. But of course, you can always restart the challenge if you so desire. So it's nice, you know, sort of serious. You can't, you know, you've got to really, all your decisions really matter and lock yourself in. The rules, it's very flexible in terms of what DLC you can do the challenge in, as well as what rules you can have enabled. I'm just hitting the default rules, but I'm going to go and turn off the Aztec Invasion from the, what's it called, the Sunset Invasion expansion. Yeah, Sunset Invasion right there. But I'll leave everything else on, because why not? You may want to turn off Shattered Retreat. That's a pretty common thing to toggle. I wonder, can you change... It'd be a law category. I was wondering if you could change the female laws from here, which might change a few things. Well, there's also actually stuff that you could tweak. Okay, well, we'll leave the defaults because, you know, why not? And yeah, I'll start my Bronze Man save over here. And we'll load up and we'll take a look at our situation. Chugga. All right, so here we are over here. I'm going to go to the Realms map mode, and we are this sort of yellowish green, sort of dried grass kind of color. This is our realm over here. We do start off, so first of all, we do start off as the Sultana of Yemen. So this is a king level title, right? One of the things when you flip from culture to culture in this game is trying to remember what the various titles are. The county level titles are sheikdoms, the duchy level titles are emirates, and the kingdom level titles are sultanates over here. And of course, you can see the little icon above there. So we do start with 4 counties we directly control, a single duchy we directly control, and a single kingdom we control as well. We are married. Our husband is incapable here, so he doesn't do anything. He can't do anything. He happens to be of our same dynasty as well here. And we have 2 children of our dynasty. So we've got an heir, everything is set up, everything is good and groovy over there. Depending on how things go, your husband may die fairly quickly. Incapable is pretty hard on the health, -3 health over here. So he may die relatively soon, in which case you'll want to make some sort of decision as to whether or not you remarry. It's probably worth doing it because, of course, when you are married, you get to share in some of your spouse's stats that can help you out. Now, as a Muslim, we cannot marry matrilineally, which means children of that union won't be of our dynasty, which may or may not cause you problems, but is probably, I think it should be fine because, I mean, your heirs, it's still going to go to your dynasty. We should talk about our inheritance laws. Here, we are with open succession. The most powerful child of the ruler succeeds, though other influential children are likely to intervene. The law is very popular with their offspring, with the exception of the oldest one. The rest of your dynasty also approves. Only males can inherit. You can see we don't actually even have any options to change our succession laws in any way over here. From the sounds of things in these Muslim kingdoms, there tends to be a fair amount of internal war after succession. But at the same time, I think it does make it a little easier to make sure that things stay within your dynasty. And you can kind of control this by giving land to your preferred heir, because that will make them more powerful and more likely to inherit afterwards. So we should talk about ourselves here. We are a mastermind theologian. Of course, the numbers you see here, so the +9 learning is already factored in to the stats over here. So it's not 16 plus 9, it's 16 including the 9. Still, we do start off with a really nice learning, which is wonderful. And then the stats that aren't sort of included anywhere else in your character sheet is the penalty to fertility. -5 fertility is not that big of a deal, especially since we already have a couple of children. We're kind of already set there. We do start off with lustful if we do care about having a bunch more kids, because clearly that will offset things. What's really amazing is we do start off with the genius trait, which is incredibly nice to have. Now, let's take a look at our children here. We've got Prince Muhammad with no genetic traits, and we've got Prince Ali, yes it is he, no genetic traits there either. A bit unfortunate that our genius trait hasn't been passed on to the children of our bloodline, of our dynasty, but what can you do? Speaking of bloodline, blood of Arwa Arwa, it's us! We're just super awesome. We're our own bloodline. Because why not? Giving them some bonus piety and some Bedouin improvement, opinion improvement, which is kind of nifty. All right. So we got a realm here. Internal stability is not too bad when we look at it. If we take a look at our vassals and sort by opinion, you know, Muhammad Rasid over here is not a huge fan of us, but minus 31 is not terrible. We do have the short reign penalty, and we've got the female ruler penalty as well. But the big thing is the minus 20 from desires the emirate of Sana. This person is ambitious, and he wants more land. There is a good chance, in my test game, there's a good chance he might start some sort of plot, which can allow you to arrest him, or attempt to arrest him if he raises his flag in rebellion. That's actually possibly the preferred outcome, because when you beat him up, which should be fairly easy, because he's just a single count over here, then not only after you beat him up, you throw him in jail, but then you can rightfully revoke his titles because he is a traitor, and then you can keep that title for yourself, which can also help towards your 100 years reign. Let's talk about that achievement. All right, so again, building temples, converting people, fairly straightforward. The achievement to hold all of Yemen directly, so hold the Sultanate of Yemen and completely control its de jure provinces. Let's talk about that. So the Sultanate of Yemen, so the Kingdom of Yemen over here, this obviously starts off just here. If we click de jure, we can see all the land that is, you know, properly belongs to the Kingdom of Yemen. And it turns out there's only 3 more provinces to grab. Hey, that sounds pretty easy. There's these 2 over here, and there's one little island over here. Easy to miss this island. Don't forget about it. Now, what's great about the island, you can tell because there's a little shield here, this is an independent territory. This island is ruled by this guy, Emir Abraham. It's a single county and the single duchy, which is right here. We can easily beat this guy up. Oh my god, we only need 3 provinces and the first one is trivially easy to take? That's wonderful. How hard could it be to complete the rest? Well, that's where it gets a little bit tricky. So this province over here is ruled by this dude, who bends the knee to this dude. This is the Seljuk. This is how many troops they currently have access to. 18,000 as is. And this might go up, actually, as things change. Might go down as well. The Seljuk are really, really brutal for us to try to consider taking on. Especially since we, right now, can only raise about 4K troops. Not tremendously brilliant. Now, we don't have a strict time limit with this. We have to rule all of this stuff for 100 years, but the timer for that starts, you know, whenever we get around to it. So you don't necessarily have to rush this. You've got time to embiggen yourself. You can claim some territory up further north into the peninsula. You can cross. Note there is a little straight crossing over here. You can cross into Africa proper over here and take more and more and more territory, embiggen yourself. You can wait for the Seljuks to maybe they'll fall apart. Maybe they'll be attacked by something. Maybe there's going to be some crusades and holy wars that cause them some issues. Look for the right timing over there. But again, because A, controlling all of it for 100 years would take a long time, and also B, before we can even consider this, we're going to have to do some work. That's why I said it's kind of beyond the scope of this particular thing. All right, that's, I think, all the important information about the challenge aside. I'd really like to start a war on this guy. We can pretty much do it from day one. If we declare war, we've got de jure claims on Socotra because it's de jure within our kingdom, right? The kingdom, or the Sultanate of Yemen over here, would naturally control this territory, so we can de jure claim that. We've got some other ways. I mean, there's holy war and stuff, but we need but first of all, I think we need piety to initiate this. No, I'm thinking of a different war, but they might call in some allies. So they're Christian, which is why we can holy war them. But we can just beat them up with a, well, actually, I don't even know. I guess they don't have any friends. Maybe the holy war is the better way to do it. Because the thing normally with the holy war is they'll call other rulers of the same faith in on it, but they won't really have that. So if we win the war, we get 100 piety and some prestige, and we lose some decadence. Yeah, I mean, we get prestige and a de jure claim, but it's probably best to just holy war them. I didn't actually double check that, but I think that's probably okay, because they're the only little pink blob of that particular religion in that area. And it's not all Christians, is it? Nestorian ruler, so there's really not too much. Okay, well, we can definitely, absolutely consider that. Let's deal with some of the pop-ups over here and see where we are. Important decisions, we can go on a Hajj right away, and we are going to want some piety if we want to change any of our laws, which is probably a good idea. As an Ikta, it costs us 100 piety to change these laws, so getting some piety would be really good, and obviously going on a Hajj would be a pretty good way of doing it. We also are being notified that we can recruit a court physician, so we can do it through the event, or we can assign the court physician directly. That's a minor title. We can go over here, court physician. We do have someone in our court who likes us okay-ish, and it's got 18 learning, which isn't bad. Ideally, we might want a 20 or above, but this might be okay. We could, so up to you which one we want to do it. I'll just go ahead and assign Musa. That's going to be okay. I'm kind of okay with going on a Hajj, although maybe we'll wait until we do our Holy War, we'll see. We can create a title, we can create another duchy. We do need actual money for this, although our income's not too bad. This number may not be quite right once we get started and unpause and let a month tick by, but, and obviously it'll fluctuate, but overall, no, our income in this setup is really quite high. You can see these counties, the 4 counties we've got, that's pretty good yearly income over here. And of course, you know, there's other trickle up economics, and we do have a domain limit of 6 to start off with, so probably grabbing some other counties would be kind of swell. In fact, we may be looking at that. All right, in terms of ambition and focus, I don't know if there's a super strong and obvious pick. I will say one thing with the focus. In terms of societies, at the start there are 2 societies to join, Hermetic Society and Lucifer's Own. You may also be able to do some assassin stuff later on, which would be kind of interesting. The Hermetic Society is probably a pretty good pick. It's good for all characters because one of the big things with the Hermetic Society is it can give you a chance to get some great artifacts that you can retain and pass on through your generations. In particular, if you can get something that gives you increased stewardship, that would be a pretty high value thing, because we would like to hold all 11 de jure counties in this kingdom, right? That's sort of our goal. Hold all 11 de jure counties in the Kingdom of Yemen directly. And so it would be nice to get a pretty high domain size so that we get fewer penalties from having done that. And so there may be some ways to get a few more of those things over there. Another thing we can consider doing is doing things like writing a book and whatnot, because that can help you. If you make a good book, again, it can get passed on to your kids as you go forward. So I think joining the Hermetic Society is a great idea. So we'll do that. Which also unlocks a new minor title of Apprentice, which for that you probably want high learning. So Musa, again, who's our court physician, will just do this. He's, wait, are these different Musas? Oh, they are different Musa. No. Oh, he just has different art for his apprentice role. Yeah, this is the same person. Oh, that's really neat. I didn't realize it would do that. Maybe, does it refresh? Oh, there you go, on a refresh. Because I think he changes his look when he becomes an apprentice, and it just hadn't updated that icon there until we sort of reset it. I'm really lazy. I'm going to go with auto-assigned commanders, because, I don't know, I'm lazy, that's why. I do like how there's, like, different minor titles to give out. The musician, the poet, architect. That sounds really cool compared to what I'm used to from the places I'm doing it. So, with the Hermetic Society, I think you get more esoteric knowledge faster if you've got scholarship. Now, the society, all the societies will give you a mission to change your focus to their preferred one, if you're not already on it. So you could wait before choosing a focus, although not having a focus is pretty miserable. You could choose another focus and wait for the mission to happen, because the nice thing about it is when you complete the mission, you get esoteric knowledge. But at the same time, I think when you, if you're just running it, you will get it. And I think it's scholarship. And more learning certainly fits in well with the Hermetic. The other thing you could do short term is consider theology here, which will also have some events to raise piety, which we do want some of. I think I will go to scholarship right away, and I'm just going to confirm that if I go here, it doesn't say it. I thought it would. I might be remembering which one is which wrong, or I might be wrong about the whole thing. That could certainly happen. As level 1 in the Hermetic Society, we can write theorem papers. And we'll also get the, doesn't say it, but I believe we will get these missions to acquire ingredients. You can see there's a lot of stuff here. Some of these cost some money. The observatory costs money to get started, and there might be some other events along the way. The theorem can also do a lot of that. Acquire ingredients is pretty safe. When you do this, and you will get lots of missions, you don't have to worry about doing it manually. They'll give you missions to acquire ingredients all the time too. You get to choose which location you're going to. I believe, and you'll probably want to double check the wiki for this choice, but I'm pretty sure that gathering herbs really heavily uses your learning. Hunting uses your martial, and the materials in the marketplace, I think, relies pretty heavily on your diplomacy, or maybe a stewardship, or possibly both. Anyway, we have high learning. We'll gather herbs in the hills. That's going to be okay. So in terms of ambition, I don't think there's anything here that is strongly or obviously better. It would be very nice to gain an artifact, and this can help us get more of those events. Although one of the things is you do need a fair amount of cash to run that. Just running a friend might not be too bad. It might not be too difficult to make a friend, and diplomacy is a really powerful stat. I mean, everyone likes you a little bit more with higher diplomacy, one of the funny things is, if you're going to do intrigue and plot, sometimes it's not your intrigue score that's the most important. Sometimes it's the diplomacy score that feels like it's the most important, because the higher your diplomacy, the more people like you, the more people are willing to join your plot. That's pretty awesome. I think for our purposes, we're not going to go around prosper, because that means no war, and we definitely want to start a war right away. Grooming an heir increases our fertility and does give us a bonus when our heir reaches of age, but I don't think we really care about that too much. Let's take the treasury, mostly because I'm curious as to what events we might get along the way. We don't have a regent assigned. We can probably go ahead and pick that. I like to personally pick a high stewardship regent who doesn't have any trait that sounds too terrible. This is probably manageable, and Ali's even of my dynasty, so we'll go ahead and make him that. We can set our crown focus somewhere, which crown focus increases the chance that you will raise prosperity. So I will look at territory that I control directly that doesn't already have much in the way of prosperity. Here we've got no prosperity modifiers, so it seems like a good choice. It's our capital. It seems like a good choice for a crown focus, so I'll go ahead and do that. If I've already got a lot of prosperity in my capital, then maybe I'll put my crown focus in another province that I control directly. We don't really care about creating the duchy tile. That's fine. Well, I think we will start on the theorem paper, because that can give us esoteric knowledge, which will give us points for progressing in our society. So we'll go ahead and hit that. We've got two options. We can do a decent effort, or we can do an extraordinary effort, which costs 125 gold, plus costs us some piety along the way. And while we're doing it, gives us -5 stewardship. It's great to write a great theorem paper, but right now I don't have that much money. But I think it's worth making any kind of theorem paper, so we're going to go ahead and at least get that on the way. I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to declare war over here. I'm going to try the Holy War. If it bites me in the butt, because it turns out that I miscalculated something about the relationship, then we can just always restart. It's going to be fine. I'm going to raise all my troops, all my vassal troops. So in total, we're sitting on 3,700 troops currently, right? I think that's correct. So if we want to bring them all over to this island, we're going to need at least 37 boats. So we'll raise both the vassal and domain ships over here, which will give us 47 of them, which is all right. And maybe we'll just meet up over here. And if you hold Alt and box select, it'll only pick up the boats. It's a nice tip that yeah, it's one of those things like when you find out that works that way, it's like, oh, that's really good. The other thing we could consider right away is we can consider starting to revoke some of these counties. Our spy master has 3 counties, so we could revoke some of them, which is better for us because we could raise up our domain, go up to a higher domain limit, which means we have more personal troops, and also we get more personal tax money, and it keeps our vassals a little bit weaker. Now, perhaps plotting against your spy master might not be the strongest option. You might want to consider, hey, maybe you can replace your spy master. Now, right now, we don't have a better option, although we have someone who's just as good. Obviously, if we replace him as a spy master, he's going to be pretty salty, and he is one of our vassals, so that could cause some problems. The other thing to consider is inviting more people. I really tend to like to do this early on in my run, is invite some more people to my court. So I search all, so we're searching the whole world. Join court, I'm going to set it to yes, so these are people who are willing to join our court. So that filters out anyone who owns land, can't join your court, anyone who's maybe married to someone who owns land, or children, can't join your court anyway, and some people just don't like you enough to join the court. But I like to do this, sort by a category, and then invite like the first couple of people in each one of these categories so that we have some people with good skills in there. And you might not want to invite anyone who's too cranky at you. So this person here is a Sunni and we're Shia, and they're zealous, so they have an extra dislike about us. It'd be great if we could convert them to Shia, but it's that much less likely to happen with the zealot, so we might just skip you. You may or may not want to invite ambitious people. Ambitious have great points, but of course, they might want to start some crap, especially if you give them some territory. There we go. We'll invite a couple of these here. You may if you're interested in specifically people that you might want to give court positions to, you will have to filter it to men because of our current laws and setups over here. So we'll do that. We'll invite you, and then the top couple over here. See if we can get 20. What a great spy master over here. And he's not ambitious or anything like that, so that might be okay. We'll invite you, and then we'll get a couple of high learning people as well. Invite. Now, there is a maximum practical size to your court on the court tab. So on your character, there's the court tab. If you mouse over it, it tells you how many people you can have in your court. We can have up to 58. We currently only have 16. I've invited, some amount of people to the court, and but we'll still be well below our limit, so that's going to be perfectly fine. Once they arrive, we might shuffle around some of our council positions, and then I'll give them some jobs as well. But for now, I can go ahead and unpause. I'll bring the speed up to a 3. We'll get a bunch of pop-ups about these invitations. And some more. And some more. And some more. And some more. Thank you. You too. That all? That might be all. Oh, one thing, if you haven't played Muslim before, we've got this decadence over here. So, decadence is a number that you want to keep low. The default is 25, and at 25, you have neither bonuses nor penalties. If you can get the decadence lower than this, you get bonuses to morale as well as tax income, which is really nice. And if it goes above 25, then you start to get penalties to some of those things. There we go. We're going to look for herbs in the countryside. That sounds fine. I don't want to lead any troops right now because dying would make it harder to achieve some of our goals. I didn't expect this guy to come over here so quickly. He's unloading some troops onto Aden. Let's go there. Yeah, there's not really any balancing over here. Okay, that's going to be fine. We'll just move everyone over here. He can't possibly have that many troops. Can we find out the number of dudes here? I don't know. But it's going to be no more than 2,400. And really, he doesn't have access to that many. Look, it's like 900 total troops. So, I mean, this guy here might be in trouble, especially with half morale. But assuming we can reinforce quickly enough, we should be okay. Let me move my boats over here, because we can just pick everyone up afterwards. Oh, we did get defeated, which is unfortunate, because now they have the defensive bonus from the mountains. But now we're going to be able to get the job done. Peachy Keen, we beat them up. We've got a prisoner, we've got some war score. They're running across the straits over there. I could chase them. We have Shattered Retreat on, because I left all the defaults, so they might go quite far away. I think I'm just going to move my troops over here. My husband died. So he wasn't capable, he was comatose. It's not really surprised that he would die. So whether or not you get married and to whom, that's, a big topic of discussion. I think I will go ahead and do it. It wouldn't be bad, potentially, to marry a Sunni, because we're going to want to do some conversions, and we may be able to get him to like us more. And once the Grim of Air, some of these guys want to get married. High Stewardship people is pretty nice. Oh, you're quick. Although, we can't marry matrilineally. That's not an option over here. So, the problem with doing this is we won't get to be injecting these guys into our bloodline, unfortunately. Still, I might just appreciate, the stats that we're getting from this guy. Let's not stress too much about it. Let's go ahead and try to get married and do what we can over there. All right, just waiting for these guys to arrive. Over here. There we go. We'll get married. Get in there. Maybe I would have married someone with high intrigue. That might have been the better play. I don't know. All right, this is our herb gathering job. Search high and low. We got 3 ingredients, which isn't bad at all. We've got another decision. Hold on. Let me load our army onto boats. We're going to bring our boats over here, and we'll just siege down Socotra. What's our decision available? Build observatory. We do have some money. I think I'll wait until after the war is over before I do it. Oh, let's talk about conversions. So, two of our goals is to build temples. I mean, we can build a new holding, build a temple. It's very expensive. The other thing we can do is just take places that have temples. And I think this place, yeah, this is a temple over here. It's called the Bishopric because they're Christian right now, but this will be one of our temples. So we will gain a temple simply by taking Socotra over here, which is kind of swell. So yeah, I'll wait on the observatory. That's going to be okay. Our decadence went down a little bit because we won some battles. I finished my paper, revolutionary paper on hieroglyphic translations. I will send it out at once. Some people will be impressed, some people won't be impressed, but overall it's going to be good for us. We're going to go ahead and land there. Let's talk about conversions while the war is going on here. We're going to reset our filters. Within our realm, how many people are not of my religion? So this is going to represent, well, anyone who's not Shia. So that's Sunni and others as well. This person here is a prisoner, which often you can force prisoners to change their religion, but this is a prisoner of war. It might be a little bit different. Let's sort by opinion. Let's try to find the people who like us the most. So you over here, demand religious conversion. Unfortunately is a no. Now, I don't think there's any filter that we can have. Oh, I guess it's only within our court, really, we can ask these guys. I don't think there's a filter to find people who would be willing to make the change. But obviously, we need a fairly good relationship with some of them to be able to do that. And hopefully that's something we can do somewhere along the way. Oh, I think this might be a Muslim thing. I don't know that we can ask our spouse to convert. We'll have to see that later on. But we can of course keep trying to invite people who like us fairly well enough, and then try to convert those guys. There's other interactions we can do. We can just bribe some people to get good opinion, and then see if we can get them convert at that point. I mean, it's not that difficult to do. You just check people in your court who haven't converted yet, and then you can see what you can do. I'm gonna go and drop my boats, because boats are very expensive to maintain. Really expensive. If we look at our income over here, you can see we're at -4, and actually if we go to the military, you can see that my ships are costing me nearly 8 gold per month to maintain. Compare that to our army, same price, and the boats don't do anything for us right now. So they're really expensive and don't do much. We'll just park you in friendly territory so we don't lose any of you. We'll just wait for the siege to finish down. We are going to have to siege 3 times for everything to finish things up. This guy is plotting. He wants to fabricate a claim on my duchy, the emirate. I'd love to arrest him and hope that he refuses so that we can then strip away his title. That is absolutely going to be something that I would like very much. Because my troops are currently busy over here, I'm not going to attempt it yet. I'm going to try to finish the war first and then see what we can do. All right, 48% war score with one of our sieges done. Ooh, I'm afraid someone might hurt me. I can gain paranoid. I mean, it's a net +1 gain in points, and it opens up some new options, which is kind of neat. We can also potentially become trusting, which is next net -1. So let's do this. We did not become paranoid. Oh, man, yeah, they have too many defenders. We can't attempt an assault. The siege is working fine, but yeah, these guys are gonna come back. They might start a siege down somewhere, but I don't think they're really going to be a problem. Enough peers endorsed my paper, so I wrote it. I'm getting some prestige, and for 5 years, +2 learning. So we're up to, well, actually, we're sitting up 21 right now, which is pretty nice. Oh, I'm pregnant. Okay, good for me. Yeah, 21 learning. That is crazy good. Oh, we're slothful. Yeah, that's really terrible. Slothful is bad. It's -1 to everything. The opposite of slothful is diligent. If we can somehow flip that around, that would be really, 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 really wonderful. Oh, they raised a few treats there. Child's in the mood for something different. What should I eat? So here's the problem. These guys will all lead to a negative genetic trait. As far as I know, it's guaranteed. This is going to be clubfoot, hair, lip. I don't remember what this one is, but I think they lead to bad genetic traits. This means no bad genetic traits, but there's a chance to become gluttonous, which isn't fantastic. Although it gives us the health boost and gives us a bunch of prestige, which has its own benefits. Again, this child's not going to be of our dynasty because we're not matrilineally married, so maybe we don't care about the genetics. But let's go ahead and hit that button. 1 in 5 chance. I got gluttonous. Damn, that's unfortunate. Maybe we can get rid of it at some point. We have a lot of sins. The Society of Lucifer would really like us. Next one, still too many troops for us to rush. Oh, we're at 100% now. We don't actually have to siege out the last bit. Excellent. So let's offer peace. We'll enforce demands. We have won the Holy War. And so we have some new land on that. Right over here. Does... Really? He's still controlling it? Maybe I would have needed to siege the last thing. That's interesting. Huh. Well, that's gonna be fine. At some point he'll cause some other issues and we'll just deal with him then. I was not actually expecting that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lower my troops here. They're in friendly territory, so we won't lose any, which is great. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna raise my troops again. I'm gonna drop this one, because I'm not gonna bother bringing you home anywhere. I'm gonna put all my troops over here, because this is the guy who is disloyal. So you can't start a war if you have raised troops, but if someone else starts a war against you, that's fine. So I'm just going to let some troops here, and I'm really quite happy if he just says no. I'm just going to give them a chance to move in. Alright. Boom! Oh, he raised his flag in rebellion. Perfect. We've got some troops there already. He can't really raise anything. He was my marshal, so we've got to replace my marshal. Sure, we'll go ahead and grab this fella over here. That seems fine. You know what? I'm going to start building an observatory. Spend some money. We don't really need much money for this war. That's going to be fine. Let's get all our troops in position here. Again, we're not going to be able to rush it because they've got too much in the way of defense. One thing I would like to recommend, it's not very expensive for us to build castle walls and does increase our tax income. We'll probably do that. I'll wait until the observatory is done. Ooh, the number of good dresses I'm still able to wear is growing increasingly smaller as my pregnancy takes course. Perhaps I could order new clothes to be tailored to my current measurements. Maybe if I ate less... Oh! I will lose gluttonous. I might become stressed. And I'll lose prestige. But guaranteed to lose gluttonous is wonderful. Because gluttonous is not a good trait. -2 stewardship, and everyone hates us. So we're going to totally do that. Lovely. Didn't actually expect that. That's a really good outcome. Alright, so we're just going to have to siege this guy down. It's probably only the one holding. Oh, there's literally only one holding in this province, so that's going to be okay. Once we win, we'll throw him in jail. We can revoke his title, and it's great. Currently, my domain limit is, well, actually 9. It's just going to refresh in a second. Oh, later stage of my pregnancy, you get a regency that kicks in, and my regent has a really good stewardship. That's the thing. You don't want a poor stewardship regent, because it's really annoying for your domain limit to be all borked when you're in that state. Regency has ended, and we have another dollar. Okay, doesn't really make much of a difference one way or another to us. She's not of our dynasty. Oh my God, she's a genius though. Ho ho ho! Very nice. And I mean, she'd like us a fair bit because she's our daughter. Well, depending on what we do. Do we have factions going on? Rude. Rude, rude, rude. It is interesting that they're backing a princess for this, though. We may have to do some stuff with our spy master. So, we did bring in some more people. Oh, I never actually set my my roles over here. I'm going to replace my spy master. He's going to be pretty cranky. But he's not that impressive, so it's going to be fine. Let's replace you with a nice whopping 20. I wonder if we should plot to just kill him, the old spy master. It's our chance. It's not great right now. We might be able to do a little bit of work to do that, though. We can also move our current spy master to this guy's position, which would help out a little bit. What I'll do, rather than trying to kill him right now, I'm just going to try to plot to revoke one of his titles. We put on auto-invite, which, you know, min-maxing you may not want to because you might invite drunkards and things. Looks like, so we have 115 plot power by itself, but I think you need one extra person before it kicks in. So we only have one person who's willing to join our plot, which is this one here. I like to sort by plot power, and then, you know, hopefully we get someone good. Only one person would be willing if we bribe them. We'll send them a gift. It's fairly cheap. It's going to give them enough opinion. This doesn't refresh right away. You can close it and reopen it, and you'll see. But you don't even have to. You can just send them the gift, and then right-click, and then invite to plot, and they will just say yes. So then all of a sudden that will become a possibility. He might say no. We might have to go and fight, but we can deal with that in just a scooch. So now that we have at least one person in the plot, we have the option to revoke the sheikdom. Depending on our score here, there's going to be different results with what happens to this guy. I think if you get it over 200, I'm not sure he can say no. I don't remember, but I feel like there's something like that. Oh, observatory is finished. Studying the skies. Another +1 learning. Gorgeous. Just waiting for the siege to finish. Lovely. So we're going to go and enforce this. Offer peace. Enforce demands. Done and done. And so now, if I look at my prisoners, we have the bishop over here. Yeah, well, it might do something with you, but more importantly, it's this Muhammad over here. We're going to revoke a title. He's a traitor, so our vassals will not accept. Oh, we don't have title revocation laws enabled. Right. That's probably the first law we're going to want to change. There you go. It'll cost us 100 piety. That's great. Now let's go back over here. Muhammad, I would like to revoke your title. Now we're allowed to do it. So he's going to hate us, but he's a traitor, so none of our other vassals will care. Boom, we've got some extra land. There's a dangerous faction being formed. We're going to deal with that in just a second here. I'm just going to reset this. Was there no one to raise over here yet? Yeah, I guess not. Okay, that's fine. So my plot, so this sheik, I'm trying to use a plot to revoke his title. We could do it this way, but it'll piss people off, so we don't want to do that. He's currently in Aden, so if he revolts, if he says no, he's gonna, well, this is one of the places he's gonna start from. So once again, I'm gonna preemptively move some troops in this territory. They're just here for a training exercise. There's nothing to see here, nothing to worry about. Don't be stressing. There you go. We got sons being born. Okay, let's go and kick this off. We're going to revoke his title. He'll get a letter, and he's going to say yes or no. There you go. So I could back away, but I'm going to go ahead and get this started. So there's his troops. I could have also checked for alliances, because that could have been something, but luckily we're okay now. Now, he can raise some troops. He can't currently raise the ones here without having some problems. I could go and try to boop these little groups before they merge up, or I can just keep sieging out over here. Both are pretty valid solutions. If I do move, he'll probably raise these troops, but they'll still be separated. I think it's probably best, actually, to just go and do some quick booping. This is going to be into the mountains. We'll have a pretty bad negative modifier, but we're going to have a huge numeric advantage, especially since apparently he's not reinforcing here either. I'm going to go there. You do want to merge your armies into one group whenever possible, which I didn't do with these guys, but I did do with that over there. See, he raised the rest of his troops, but that's okay because we can get some war score from just battling these guys. There you go. We want to merge them up because we want to organize this properly, and there's a whole bunch of actual strategies for organizing the warfare here. Ali, and then you over here, in terms of skills and special traits and things, but I'm not going to bother too much with the micro. I don't think we can catch this guy. This guy's locked. We're going to move over here. Again, we will be the attacker into mountains, which isn't ideal. Oh, he's dodging us, is he? Okay, I'm just going to wait for them to become locked. And okay, so you're locked into here, so we'll just go and boop you and take care of that. I'll queue up a movement over here, although it may not achieve anything. I'm trying to prevent them from merging up into one. Even if they did, we'd outnumber them, so it'd be fine. But we may as well take a few easy early victories, and then we'll just go back to sieging out. Boom, 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 boom. Done. Pregnant again? Wow. I mean, I am lustful. What about my husband? Ooh, he's stressed. He's got a headache. Oh, what's wrong with him? Raven temperate. He's got quick. Midas touch is giving him a fertility boost, so that's going to be a thing. Are we actually not going to catch you? Okay. I'm not going to stress about chasing him too much if he keeps running away from me. Smaller armies, and depending on what kind of units they have, they can often be faster. Okay. So we may not be able to catch them. That's fine. We'll just siege out. He might counter siege us somewhere, but it's hardly the end of the world. Siege times are not, as far as I know, in CK2, they're not affected by the size of the army. So what we could do is we could always split our army into two and siege two places if we have more troops than we need to siege any particular area. And indeed, that's the case. We only need 600 over here. So if I take this army, hit the split in half, grab one of them, move them over to beta, we can siege two places at once. You got to be careful doing that, because if your army's split apart and it's too small, you can find yourself in trouble when there's a counterattack. But by doing this, what we're doing is we're strengthening our control over this area quite a bit more. We're gonna, and that's the thing, like, we're playing for certain challenges, but you still want to play kind of normal. Make your core realm pretty good. Oh, I never did assign my council to anything. Sorry, we're talking about too many things. It might be a good idea for us to fabricate a claim over here, for example, so we can expand and gain a bit more territory, get ourselves a little bit stronger in preparation for maybe something against the Seljuks later on. Right now, they only got 16k troops. They are in a war with someone else. Keep an eye on these guys. Once you've got, I mean, you're kind of naturally going to need at least maybe 10k troops yourself. Oh, we got some disease here. 10k troops yourself before mercs, really before you can probably consider this. But keep an eye on their troop number. Remember to check the actual Sultan here, his troop numbers, and if he turns out to be in some sort of war. Composing a book would be fun. It's expensive, so I might not bother with it yet. Oh, right, I'm pregnant. I'm like, what happened? Why do I have a regency? But yeah, I'm pregnant, so that happens. That's okay. Can't even siege out over here. He's too small. And, oh yeah, I'll build the castle walls here. The sooner you build it, the sooner you increase your tax income, so it starts paying for itself. But also, meanwhile, you know, it makes your territory a little more sturdy. Oh, definitely consider building yourself some a hospital in your territory if you can. It doesn't take much money, and it really helps the disease resistance. Regency has ended. We've got a daughter. Oh, so this is a Hermetic Order thing. Fellow members of the Order sometimes speak of intricate charms and recipes to ward off evil, and perhaps I should take precautions too. Considering the stars of Aries, I nod to myself. The yarrow on my shelves is surprisingly fragrant. So, strategically place my quarters should suffice. Cost me piety, gains me prestige. Use a combination, which is more so. So basically, what I'm doing is consuming my ingredients, consuming some of my prestige or my piety to generate prestige. I don't know. Tell you what, let's hit one of these and see what happens. Might lead to something else. We have a 20% chance of becoming diligent, which would be lovely. No, we got cynical. With the rest of our characters, your spy master. So I used to say it doesn't really matter where you study technology. You can only send your spy master somewhere that's got more tech than you. And depending on your spy master's skill, there's just going to be a percentage chance per year. Well, it ticks, you know, like monthly, daily kind of thing. But over the course of the year, we've got, with our 20, we'd have a 60% chance of getting an event that gives us some free tech points. What I didn't realize, it also basically creates a wormhole between provinces and it makes them count as adjacent for the spread of technology, because technology spreads from adjacent provinces to adjacent provinces. But if we do send you to Constantinople, or, you know, wherever, as long as it's above us, it's the important thing, but Constantinople will always be above us. This should help spread more technology to our capital. With our steward, sometimes I like to research economy tech, sometimes I like to collect taxes. I think I'll go with taxes over here. With my chaplain, if I didn't want to manually convert people, I could use proselytize to do it. I think I'll just research cultural tech in our capital. With our marshal, sometimes I want to train troops to increase the levy size, but I think researching military tech here is going to be fine. There we go. We've got those deployed. I was getting distracted with myself and not doing that. Look how low our decadence is over here. The main income goes up. Morale of troops goes up. Really swell. He's doing a little sieging over here, but we are ahead on the siege. We don't really have to stress too much. We should get some decent war score relatively soon. Let's go up to speed 4 for a sec here. Chugga, chugga, chugga. Nearly done these sieges. Victory is done, 46%. We do have some more to siege over here. Or I could decide, you know what? We've completed one. Maybe I'll merge up and get ready. I think I'll do that. I'll move into beta. This is going to finish in a second. And the same sort of logic. There we go. We've got more to siege. Actually, beta is done. I'm just going to go and boop these, and then I'll go back to Aiden. I think you're capped to, 75% war score from just battles. So in the end, to get 100%, you do have to siege something. But you don't have to siege much. My spy master asked me to exchange a few words in private. Uncovered a rumor concerning a rare artifact. Oh, this is probably related to my created treasury. Yep, go for it. Go hunting for my artifact. Please and thank you. Victory, prisoner. We'll just go and siege something else. Someone could be imprisoned over here. What are you doing? Fabricating a claim? And you're Mr. Cranky Pants? Oh, this is the Christian on the island. Yeah, I really want to arrest him and rip away his title. This would reduce plot power. I think I'm okay with this. Go find me an artifact. I want an artifact to pass on to the next generation. Makes us a little vulnerable while it's happening. Is there a research? Oh, typo. Huh. At the observatory. Yeah, we'll keep studying the stars for now. We've got some money. We're at 96%. Eventually it will, we've got taking war score and various things. There we go, 99. Because we've got the war goal, which is the capital over here. There's 100. We didn't have to siege anything else. And we can force this. And if the war has gone on long enough, we can always, generally win as well. So we beat you up, which is great. We can create more titles. It's going to be fine. We can go on a Hajj, which we should probably do. Maybe sooner rather than later. But what? Oh, I didn't realize I had troops raised over here, but of course that makes sense. Let me reset this. Let me get some ships. You know what? Maybe I won't bother with you. You're pretty far away. I'll just do this. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to imprison this guy, and I'm going to have my guys in the right position in the first place. Same as what we were doing before. And then we can, assuming he says no, we can then revoke his title. I think we only had a 40% chance. We're not going to sleep around. I think we only had a 44% chance or something like that of successfully arresting him, which is great. Okay, 45 right now. Okay, we kind of want him to say no. There we go. So he starts a war, because then he counts as a traitor. And we can do that. He'll also count as a traitor if he was plotting specifically against us, which may have already been the case. If he was specifically plotting against us, he would already count as a traitor. So even if we'd succeeded, we'd be able to rip apart a title. Chief Quadi is a minor title. Right over here. Basically, yeah, Chief Judge, basically, kind of thing. Sure, you're going to have that. I mean, we may have wanted to manually assign all those. Why should you settle for one woman or two a dozen? The carnal pleasures of fresh beck, and let no man say you are undeserving. But I can't have consorts. And I'm not gay. Interesting. It is going to trigger some decadence for us, though. But we're still really good. We're not decadent at all. You do want to keep an eye on this. If you have people of your dynasty who have the decadent trait, this will increase the dynastic decadence over time. If you go to your religious screen, right over here, you can see people of your dynasty who are decadent. You might be able to convince them to give it up, and if not, you can imprison them as well. And depending on certain situations, it can be seen as a righteous imprisonment. In terms of our child, I'm really kind of keen on thrift, because if they get curious, it can lead to an intelligence trait. You know, like bright and genius and those types of things. So this should be fairly fine. He doesn't have any friends. Minus 20% because he's holding the war goal right now, but that's going to flip in a second because we're about to take it. In fact, I think we'll go straight to 100%. It depends. Castle walls are done. There you go, 31%, and now the ticking war score will be in our favor. But successfully spied on Constantinople, giving us some tech boost. One of the techs I like to prioritize a lot is the siege one. Keeping this up increases the speed time and your siege defense as well. And shortening siege timers is really good. The other one that's nice is the military organization because of the retinue booster. So those are two of the ones I tend to prioritize a lot. I think at the start we actually don't start with enough retinue to really, 418 is not quite enough. Remember here, this is the retinue size, but so even though this is only 250 troops, these heavy infantry, for example, count as just more weight. You can see here, this one would take 700 retinue cap to build this one retinue. So it depends on the exact troops that you use. But you are going to want to keep an eye on that. And some of the buildings that are the nicest to build are ones that increase your retinue limit. Although, I think I will build a hospital first. I think this is going to be a good value. Study the motion of the stars, get 100 military tech points. Are you kidding me? That's amazing! Oh man, I'll just go ahead and like... There you go, just bring those to the next level. They were nearly there anyway. Next siege, we're at 91%. Kinsman has embraced a dangerous heresy. First of all... No, I can't successfully do that. We are high learning, so we can do this. What we are going to have to do from time to time is look at our court and see who we can possibly convert, right? So these are people who are not of my religion that are in my court. This princess over here, see, they're not willing to do it. Man, oh man. Actually, I was able to get some conversions going pretty easily before, but they're being a little cranky pants. It will help, you know, if we can get a relationship up. So, you know, some key bribes here and there may make a big difference. You want to get married. First things first, let's get you married to someone. I'll just pick, wow, there's not a lot of options. All right, we'll get you married to a Shia who likes me. I don't think that's going to matter. We'll go ahead and do that. There you go. So it makes you a little bit happier. Any chance that's enough? No. We could give you an honorary title as well. Here, you can be a calligrapher for an extra +5. Probably not enough either, but it's very close. If I send you a gift and you don't have a title, so we don't have to spend a lot of money for a big improvement. There you go. Now he's willing to do it. Hooray! So you have been converted over to Shia, like that. Peace offer. You're surrendering. Excellent. I will accept your surrender. You are now imprisoned. So if I go to my prisoners, that's Abraham over here, I can revoke your title. You are a traitor. So we are going to... I'm going to remove your county level title, which should get rid of your duchy, because you don't hold any land either anymore, right? Oops. Oh, that was interesting. I clicked on him and it went to me because I think... It may have been slightly glitched because of the title change. But there you go. So he has no more titles anymore. We've got some more land in our domain, which is going to be great for our total number of troops, as well as more tax dollars. So we can just go ahead and drop those. That's going to be okay. Oh, my daughter died. Oh, that's too bad. Well, there you go. That brings us to about an hour into the video. So, by controlling this, of course, we did claim ourselves an extra sort of temple-y kind of thing, which is great. We are going to... You could build some more if you've got money. It's very expensive, but you can just keep expanding. You can just keep checking to see who's got what. That's only a city. That's a city as well. I don't know if there's a filter to find temples. Hey, the mosque over there. Great stuff. So if we went and took this, that should count as some more in our control for progression towards the goal. Yeah, you know what? It's time to go on a Hajj. It's a little bit expensive, but we could use more piety. Piety lets us change more laws. I mean, there's still a cooldown on that. So really, the first one is the one where you're kind of suffering and having to wait for 100 piety. After that, because there's a cooldown to law changes, it's not so bad. You might want to change your next law change. Your first one is definitely allowing revoked titles. Your second one, religious, might be good because it's the next level up. This lets you revoke titles of people who are the wrong religion, which, without having to do extra shenanigans, which might be really useful. But the other thing you might want to do is increase your centralization so that you can boost your domain size, because one of the things you're looking for, again, is to directly control all the territory. We need 2 more provinces over here, which, as a reminder, is the de jure of our kingdom, right? Boop, boop. See that? 2 more provinces we need to grab and control ourselves. It's trickier. We're going to want to build up to it because the Sultan over here, oh, he's only got 100k troops. He's actually got a lot of rebellion going on. He's got, yeah, a lot of internal issues. If there was ever a time to jump on him, it might be now. I mean, we're nowhere close in troop count, but it might still be something that we can sneak in there. Could be. I don't think I'd feel comfortable in doing it. I would maybe feel more comfortable doing it if we weren't playing in sort of Bronze Man / Iron Man mode, where we could save first, see what happens, then revert. But we can't do that, so we may want to go with a little bit more security. But we got lots of stuff to develop within our own territory. That's going to be okay. If we can generally improve our diplomacy, that will go a long way to helping us convert more people, because more people are going to be liking us enough to make the flip. Of course, the longer we rule, first of all, it gets rid of the short rule penalty. And the other thing is, as we acquire a lot of prestige, everyone will like us a little bit more. For every 100 points of prestige, we get a +1. You can see we've got, or is it every 200 points now? They did nerf it, didn't they? Yeah, back in the day, I think it was for every 100 points. Now I think it's for every 200, you get a +1 to how much people like you. But it still adds up, and it still helps tremendously. And actually, the other thing is, ranking up in the society is going to be really good. The Hermetic Society is one of the strongest in the games, period. We can rank up when we hit, I think, 800, 750. 750. Predict the future on a few things. That's not too shabby. Air over here, getting some learning. We can set a focus on some of our other sons over here. For the people who aren't set to inherit, you may want to go with humility, because I think timid can lead to... Oh, there we go. It's affectionate that can lead to content. Content is great to have in your own vassals because it makes them like you a lot more and makes them way less likely to start some trouble. So your own heir, the person you're going to play as, you don't really need content. It doesn't really help you. I think it might give you some extra piety, but it's not really a valuable trait for you to have in yourself, and therefore not really with your own heir. Although you can see here that we do have affectionate on Prince Muhammad over here. Kind is really good. Your vassals like you a lot more if you're kind. What you want for yourself and or your immediate heir is ambitious, if you can get it, because ambitious gives you +2 to all your stats and is tremendously powerful. But that's something you don't want on other people in your realm, because ambitious people start trouble. So that's a really good way to sort of control things. So in terms of your own kids, I like, as a default, thrift for everyone is pretty good because it can lead to intelligence things. But again, for your other people, you might want to see if you can swing a content in some way, and humility can lead to that. Well, hopefully this is a help. This, I think, is a brilliantly interesting start. Really, 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 really cool. Lots of room for expanding in lots of different directions. Of course, the one direction you really want to expand in is going to be a little bit rough over here because of what's going on with the Seljuks. But as you can see, and it'll depend. Sometimes they blob out like crazy. Sometimes they collapse. Sometimes they get crushed by a crusade. Sometimes they crush a crusade, and then they go on a jihad and expand even more. Wow, the Byzantines. You guys are having some issues. So this might be, you might have to do a little bit of replaying for completing that goal. But remember, you don't actually have to complete all of them, right? If you're interested in just getting your scores up, I'm going to go resign, go back to the main menu, quit the menu over here. Thank you very much. If your goal is to unlock those cosmetics, do the easy challenges. You know, complete a few of these, and then move on to another ruler and work your way through your beards and your haircuts and your hats and get all the cosmetics unlocked. Folks, thanks very much for watching this video. Again, reminder, this was sponsored by Paradox to showcase the Monarch's journey in preparation for Crusader Kings 3. This is Crusader Kings 2 in preparation for Crusader Kings 3. If you don't know, and I probably should have said that sooner, Crusader Kings 2 is currently free. 100% free, permanently, forever. You can just grab it on Steam or wherever, and you just have CK2. Even just playing vanilla with no expansions, no DLC, it is still a really, really, really solid game. Also, if you have any friends that have CK2 and you do multiplayer, whoever hosts the game, you get to use all of their DLCs and all their expansions. So if you have a friend, or if you've got it and you want to try to convince your friends to play, host a multiplayer game, and then everyone will have access to all that content right away, which is kind of awesome. Folks, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to see you next time, wherever next time might be. Bye-bye.